Welcome to ABC Interactive English. I'm Mike.
And I'm Sam.
And today, Sam, we are back at our favorite place in the world, the happiest place on earth.
Disney World?
No, not Disney World. The convenience store.
Yes, okay.
The second happiest place on earth after Disney World is the convenience store. The good news is there are more convenience stores and they're free to go into.
True, yes. You will not be spending quite as much money at the convenience store, hopefully, than at Disney World.
That's true.
That's very expensive.
But of course, if you want to take anything from the convenience store, you do have to spend money. You have to pay for it. And that is kind of our topic for today, not paying for things, but the different things we can use to pay for stuff. Because the days of using paper money, coins, cash, well, we still do that, but it's very common and becoming more common, I think, for people to use other ways of paying. Things like easy cards or yo-yo ka.
Yes, and that is something that I think almost everyone who lives in Taiwan has, because it is also very convenient. Since we've been talking about convenience stores. Now we are talking about a very convenient card. So it is very useful because you can use it for your metro, for your bus, for your yo-yo bike, U-bike, not yo-bike.
Yeah.
U-bike and the convenience store, you can buy things. It's great.
That's right. Fast food restaurants, taxis, they take those cards. But of course, along with Easy Card, the yo-yo card that we all know here, we also have Apple Pay, Line Pay. There's all sorts of wonderful things. But you have to make sure that you have money on your card before you try to use it. It's not a credit card where you kind of borrow money to buy something and then pay back later. No, you have to put money in the card, usually using a machine or an app or something like that. And that is our topic, as it says there, adding value is what we will be looking at today. This is basically putting money on your card so that you can now use it to spend, to buy stuff. So let's find out how to do that. It will be very interesting, and we will check out our dialogue now. Parker is buying a few items.
Your total comes to 238 NT dollars. How would you like to pay?
I'll use my Easy Card. Should I place it on the sensor now?
Yes, please. It looks like you don't have enough money on your card.
I see. Then I'd like to add more value to it.
Okay, everybody, so we are at part B in our dialogue for being at the convenience store. And this part B is adding value. So we had talked about that this is kind of like if you're putting something on your card and then you're using your card to pay for something. So we're adding value to the card. Now, value, this word, it means the worth or the importance of something. So for example, something that might be very valuable to you could be something that your grandma gave to you. And so maybe it doesn't have money value, but it has importance. You also can use value to talk obviously about money. So this painting is very valuable. It is worth a lot of money. So this word value just means how much importance or worth or money is attached to the item that you're talking about. And here we will talk about adding value, so actual money to our card so we can use it to buy stuff. So we are back in the convenience store. We have Parker, and Parker is buying a few items from the clerk. And so we start with the clerk. So it must have been Parker put some items up on the counter and the clerk scanned them. And the clerk says, your total comes to $238 NT. How would you like to pay?
All right, so there you go. Parker is paying for his snacks, his drinks, whatever it is. He is buying its 238 NT dollars. Now, of course, if he's me, he will reach into his pocket, pull out his wallet with his money, or maybe pull out some coins and stuff and put it on the counter, and that is how he will pay. But Parker is a modern person. He's not using cash. He's not using that old style money. He says, I'll use my Easy card. So there he is using that yo-yo card that, well, a few years ago, many years ago, you could only use to get on a bus or to take the MRT. But of course, now you can use it just as money. You can use it for almost anything that will take it. So he's going to use his Easy card to pay for his stuff. And then he asks the clerk, should I place it on the sensor now? All right, so he's kind of asking, how do I use my card? Where do I put my card? How do I make sure the money goes to you? And he asks if I place it on the sensor. To place something, here we're using place as a verb. You might know this more as a noun, about somewhere that you are, a location. Oh, what a beautiful place. Look at the waterfall and the forest and the flowers and trees. Oh, it's such a beautiful spot in the world, a beautiful place. That would be the noun. The verb form is quite different. We're talking about putting something in one spot. If you place something, it's probably in your hands, and now you are putting it maybe on a table. If you eat at a restaurant, the waiter or waitress will bring your food and then place the food on the table in front of you where you can start eating. So we're putting something somewhere, and maybe we're putting it there a little bit carefully, right?
Yes.
Placing something is more like being careful, not just sort of throwing it somewhere. So place it on the sensor, put it carefully on this little machine, this little kind of camera that we call a sensor.
Yes, and so sensor, this is a noun, and it comes from the verb sense. So if you are sensing something, you are noticing it that it's there, you're using one of your five senses, something like that, to see that it is there. Now, a sensor is the object or the machine that is sensing whatever you might be placing. So for example, in a store, you would have a sensor for sensing or noticing or recognizing that you put your card there. And it scans it and it takes the money out and it makes sure that everything's all good, and then you can take it off the sensor and you can keep going. And you might see like a little light, it might beep, it might make a sound, and that tells you that it has sensed your card and it knows that your card was there and that you completed the transaction. But here we have the clerk who says, yes, please. So yes, put the card on the sensor, but we have a problem. And the clerk says, it looks like you don't have enough money on your card. So the sensor beeped the card and went, oh, there's not enough money here. And tells the clerk tells Parker, and now what happens?
I see. In the same way that if I try to get into the MRT station, I put my Easy card near the sensor. If the doors don't open, then clearly I don't have enough money. Again, I will need to add value. And that's what Parker says. Like me, he's probably been very busy that day. He didn't notice that there was no money or value on the card. Oh yeah, I have to put more money, more value. I see, he says, just a way of saying I understand, I get it, no problem. Then I'd like to add more value to it. He would like to put more money into the card or add value so that then he will be able to pay for his snacks or whatever he wants to buy. So we're going to come back after our break and find out how to add value to your card while you are at the convenience store. It's actually easier than doing it in the MRT,
I think so too.
All right, we'll see when we come back.
Okay, How much value would you like to add?
I use this card a lot, so please add 1,000 NT dollars.
Sure. Do you need me to print the receipt for you too?
No, please store it on my card. Thanks.
Okay, so we are back from our break and we are still in the convenience store and we've got Parker who is wanting to add value to his card.
That's right. Parker is poor. Poor Parker.
Poor Parker.
He doesn't have the money to buy his snacks.
Yes,
Yet.
so he tried to use his card,
Right.
put it on the sensor. The sensor said, nope, you don't have enough money. And he says he wants to add some value. So the clerk responds and says, okay, how much value would you like to add?
In other words, how much money do you want to give me to put into your card? So Parker says, I use this card a lot, so please add 1,000 NT dollars. All right, so that's not a crazy amount of money, and he does say he uses it a lot. He might take a taxi to work. He might use it to pay for his lunch at a fast food restaurant. You know, he might use 1,000 NT dollars on his card in a few days or in a week or something. So that is not too much for him. It will make his life easier. And the clerk says, no way, man.
No, that's not true.
Okay.
The clerks are very helpful and they
Yes.
say, and this clerk says, sure. Do you need me to print the receipt for you too? So yes, I can put the money on there. Do you need a receipt to double check or to prove that you put the money on there? And so that is a very normal question to ask. Do you want to print the receipt or send it to your phone or just no receipt?
Yeah, even though Parker didn't really buy anything, he didn't get something for the $1,000, he still gave it to the store. They did something with it. So in the future, if he finds the $1,000 isn't in his card, he has the receipt. He can go back and complain. But Parker says, no, I don't want the receipt. I don't want the paper receipt. Please store it on my card. Thanks. So that's another thing that you can do with these ways of paying. You can also put the receipt with your lucky numbers maybe inside the app, inside your phone or on the card, and you don't have all those little bits of paper in your pocket. They won't print the receipt for you. You'll just have an e-receipt on your phone. When you print something, you basically put letters onto paper so that you have something you can hold, fold, send off, put in a book, something like that. It's not on a computer screen. It's not on your phone. It's actually on paper. That thing that many people, well, I guess not so many people have. They used to have it a lot. It was a machine attached to your computer that would make a paper version of what you see in the computer on the screen. That is called a printer because its job is to print the page with what is on your screen or in your computer. So when you're putting that writing on paper using a machine of some kind, you are printing out something like a receipt or your homework or something else.
And I think one reason, especially in Taiwan, why people might not have printers anymore is because you can print at the convenience store.
That's true. You can print at the convenience store. Another thing you can do there.
Yes, and so we also had this word store in the sentence, and it might be a little confusing because we've been talking about a convenience store, an actual place, but now we are talking about storing something. So this is the verb, and this has nothing to do with an actual physical place that you could go to and buy stuff. It has to do with taking something and putting it somewhere to keep it there. So for example, you might store your Christmas decorations in the closet and keep them there until the next Christmas when you take them out and you can decorate again. In this case, Parker wanted to store the receipt on his phone or on his card. So he didn't want a printed receipt. He wants to store it in the card so that he doesn't have to hold an extra piece of paper. So they're going to keep it there and it'll stay safe in that spot. So it'll be stored away.
That's right. When you go shopping at a store, you are not storing in the store. No, you are shopping. Storing is keeping it safe. Think of it as your food at home in the kitchen. You store things in the refrigerator. You keep them safe there. You store things in the cupboard. You might even store your money in your wallet and your wallet in a purse. Or something like that. Keeping it nice and safe, just like Parker's receipts. I'm sure he's going to win lots of money on those lucky draws in a few months. Not like you.
Me.
But who
Never
knows?
like-
We hope he does, and we hope you do even more than Parker, win even more money. Thanks for joining us, guys. We're going to be back at the convenience store one more time tomorrow, so make sure you come back and join us for that. Until then, all the best, and bye-bye. Parker is buying a few items.
Your total comes to 238 NT dollars. How would you like to pay?
I'll use my Easy card. Should I place it on the sensor now?
Yes, please. It looks like you don't have enough money on your card.
I see. Then I'd like to add more value to it.
Okay, how much value would you like to add?
I use this card a lot, so please add 1,000 NT dollars.
Sure. Do you need me to print the receipt for you too?
No, please store it on my card. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Tina. 我们来看这一课的重点单字。第一个 value 名词，价值、价格。What's the value of this painting? 这幅画的价值是多少？下一个单字 place 动词，放置。Can you place the groceries on the kitchen counter? 你可以把这些食品杂货放在厨房流理台上吗？ Groceries 指的是食品杂货。下一个单字 print 动词，列印。I need to print this document for the manager. 我需要列印这份文件给经理。最后一个单字 store 动词，储存，存放。I never store my photos in the cloud. 我从不在云端里储存照片。接着我们来看重点文法。第一个 come to something 加总为多少金额？这是一个不可分的动词片语。我们来看看这个例句。The expenses for the project come to the total of $5,000. 这个专案的开支总额为$5000。Expense 指的是开销。下一个文法 It looks like 加主词加动词，看起来怎么样？我们来看看这个例句。It looks like it's going to rain. 看起来要下雨了。最后一个文法 add A to B， 把 A 加到 B。Add 是添加、增添的意思。我们来看看这个例句。I'll add your favorite song to the playlist. 我会把你喜欢的歌曲加到播放清单上。Playlist 就是播放清单。以上就是这一课的重点单字跟文法，我们下一课再见，拜拜。
Hey, it's Kiwi on the street. I'm Kiki.
And I'm Winnie. Oh, by the way, Wendy bought us lunch, so that was a really big favor. Let's thank her. But how do we say that?
You mean in Chinese?
Yeah, thank you for doing us a favor.
I'm not sure, but maybe we can find some friends to help us with some translations. Please pick one for me. Okay, let's take a look. 不麻烦.
What do you think 麻烦 is?
Problem.
Don't worry.
Very good. Don't worry, no worries, no problem.
Don't trouble you, or it's no trouble at all.
Oh, no trouble.
No problem.
Yeah. Yeah,
no problem at all.
Okay, good choice. We have 那没什么啦.
It's totally fine.
It's totally fine, okay? Or it's nothing.
那没什么啦. It's so easy.
Oh, very good.
That's not important.
It's not important or it's nothing. Very good. What did we learn today? There are lots of different ways to say you're welcome when somebody thanks you, especially when you're helping them. And we heard some of them today. Let's learn a little bit more about how we can say it. The first one is, it's not a bother. You can also say, no trouble at all. The next one is, it's nothing. You can also say, it's no big deal. And those are some of the other ways we can say you're welcome. That's all for our translations today. KiWi later!